Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there's lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you an update on some of Arsenal's transfer news. Then after that I am going to be giving you an update on some of Liverpool's transfer news. So these quite a few topics to delve into, but I am going to start with some Arsenal's news. So according to the Telegraph and according to other media outlets, Thomas Partey has told his friends that he wants to join Arsenal in the summer. He wants to join Arsenal in the summer. Now, Thomas Partey, does have around a £45 million release clause in his Atletico Madrid contract, and he has got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023, so he's still got around 3 years remaining on his current contract. Now, obviously, Thomas Partey has spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think this is now his 8th season with Atletico Madrid in total, including the time, when he was in their youth setup. But I think it's now his 5th season in the senior squad, and he has made over 150 appearances in all competitions. And Thomas Partey is predominantly a defensive midfielder. Now, obviously, what's been coming out recently is totally contrast to what was coming out, was it a couple of days ago, because the African journalist, he actually came out and revealed that Thomas Partey's preference is a move to Manchester United over at Arsenal, being I don't think we're interested in recommending Thomas Partey in. Now, Arsenal have been in for Thomas Partey for quite some time. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, or was it last week, Thomas Partey's agent had denied talks with Arsenal. His agent had denied talks with Arsenal, but actually, Thomas Partey's father had urged his son to leave Atletico Madrid. Now, I think Atletico Madrid have been in negotiations of trying to get, Thomas Partey a new contract, but Thomas Partey did reveal not too long ago that he was unhappy with Atletico Madrid's recent contract offer, because I think Atletico Madrid were willing to double his wages from £65,000 to £130,000 a week, and it said his release clause would increase to around, is it 92 or 93 million pounds. And he did also mention as well, Arsenal will have to sell at least one player to fund the move for Thomas Partey. There's obviously been talks of Lacazette going to Atletico Madrid as part of a swap deal of Thomas Partey going to Arsenal. I think actually Arsenal are actually going to sell Lacazette. Now, Lacazette, I think now is in his 3rd season with Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal did pay, was it around just over £46 million for him from Lyon. Very, very good player is Lacazette, in my opinion. He is predominantly a central striker, but he can also play as a winger, and I think he's also being deployed as a secondary striker as Alexander Lacazette. So there's been talks of a swap deal possibly happening, but I did say, swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. But obviously, it did say quite a few weeks ago, let's revert back to what I said about Partey. It said Arsenal could only sign Thomas Partey on one condition, and that's if, they get qualification for the Champions League. And Arsenal are sitting 9th in the Premier League at the moment. They are like 8 points behind top 4, so I'm very, very sceptical that Arsenal are going to get qualification for the Champions League for next season. Obviously, you had Damasio. He's, spoken on quite a few topics, but he came out not too long ago and he did even say that Atletico Madrid would be willing to sell Thomas Partey if the right offer came in. But he also put their other players into the equation as well. He says Atletico will sell any of their players if the right offer does come in and that. But I don't think, Atletico Madrid, want to sell Thomas Partey, to be quite honest with you, because they do know how much of an imperative player he is, and Atletico Madrid have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Don't forget they lost Diego Godin after I think he enjoyed a good 8 or 9 years with Atletico Madrid. They also lost Griezmann last summer, and they also lost Rodri last year to Manchester City. They did recruit quite a few players in, did Atletico Madrid. Don't forget also too, Saul Niguez, he's been linked to a move away from Atletico Madrid. But I actually think Thomas Partey would actually do very, very well in the Premier League, even though he hasn't played in the Premier League as yet. And is he like, 25 or 26 years of age? So Thomas Partey has basically revealed that he's hopeful, that an agreement can be made between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid and that. So yeah, so that is the breaking news on Thomas Partey. Like I said to you, I think Arsenal are going to sell maybe around 3-4 players in the summer transfer market. You know, there's been possible talks that Xhaka could leave. There's also been talks saying that Lucas Torreira could be moved on. I think they're definitely not going to get rid of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, sorry. And I also, by the way, want to give you some latest news on Mesut Ozil. Now, the news is on Mesut Ozil. I think I read, was it in the Sun or was it in the Mirror, if I can remember rightly. Reportedly, Mesut Ozil's close friend has revealed that Fenerbahce are working on a transfer for Mesut Ozil. Now, Arsenal have actually been urged to sell Mesut Ozil and sign Jack Grealish. Don't forget, Jack Grealish has been on our agenda, for quite some time, Manchester United's agenda. I think this is, coming from Kevin Kuban. I think Arsenal should have sold Mesut Ozil, a couple of years ago. Mesut Ozil has been a long-serving player for Arsenal. He's now into his 7th season with them. Arsenal, did purchase him from Real Madrid back in 2013. I think Arsenal did pay around, 42.5 million for him. I think at that point he was the most expensive German player of all time. I don't know if he still is, but at that point, if he isn't now, he was Mesut Ozil, and his current contract does expire next year, and I think Mesut Ozil is in his early 30s at Arsenal. Ozil, by the way, I think he's their highest paid player. I think he's on like £350,000 a week, but Arsenal would want to cash in for him this year rather than letting go on a free transfer in the summer of 2021. Same sort of thing with Aubameyang, they'd rather cash in for the Aubameyang this summer rather than letting go on a free in the summer of 2021. Arsenal have revealed their asking price for Aubameyang, and I think, they've said they want around £30 million, but he is a cheap solution in that. But it remains unknown where Aubameyang's next club is going to be. Arsenal have tried to convince him to sign a new contract, but he's rejected a contract offer from Arsenal as Aubameyang. So obviously, Arsenal obviously going to want an adequate replacement for Aubameyang in the summer transfer market and that. But there you go. And there's been a few strikers on their agenda. There's been that Odsonne Eduard from Celtic on their agenda. Reportedly will cost Arsenal around 25 million. Don't forget Wissam Ben Yedder has also been on their agenda, but Arsenal do want to make signings in the summer because, like I've said to you before, Arsenal have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Don't forget, they lost Aaron Ramsey last summer after, he endured 11 years with Arsenal. He was a very, very long-serving player for Arsenal. Arsenal did let Aaron Ramsey go on a free transfer to Juventus. Don't forget they lost Alexis Sanchez back in January 2018. He came to us as part of a swap deal of Arsenal getting Mkhitaryan. Also, too, they lost Nasri. Don't forget, they lost Jack Wilshere. Was it last year? Was it January or was it last summer? Welbeck left them. Lichtsteiner left. So too did Lauren Koscielny. Don't forget they lost Robin van Persie back in 2012. They lost Olivier Giroud to Chelsea. So Arsenal have lost quite a few of their imperative players. And I think Arsenal need to stop being a selling club, like I've said before, and they need to buy more into their club and that. But it is a transition period for Arsenal because, Mikel Arteta is their third manager this season. Before they had Mikel Arteta, of course, they had Freddie Ljungberg in on a temporary basis. And before they had Freddie Ljungberg, they had Arsene Wenger. And Arsene Wenger, of course, endured 22 years as Arsenal manager. So he was a very, very long-serving manager in that. I don't think Mikel Arteta, like I've said on numerous occasions before, is the foreseeable future for Arsenal. I think he definitely will be given another season at Arsenal Football Club and that. Yes, he will. I think he signed a 3.5-year deal when he got appointed in, did Mikel Arteta and that. But I think, before the football season that got suspended, Arsenal did look a much better team under Mikel Arteta's guidance, even though they have drawn quite a lot of games. But, Mikel Arteta, is inexperienced as a manager. Obviously, before he was at Arsenal, he was a coaching assistant at Manchester City for around, 3 years? So you can say he's probably, learnt some tips off Pep Guardiola. Mikel Arteta knows the traditions of Arsenal Football Club. He was a good player for them. I think he enjoyed a good, 5 or 6 years as a player for Arsenal, something like that anyway. He also enjoyed 6 years as a player for Everton. I think he played for Sociedad, didn't he play for Rangers as well? But yeah, so he will be definitely not at Arsenal next season, will Mikel Arteta, because he is still in the process of rebuilding the Arsenal team. Don't forget, he's inheriting players, that Emre brought in last summer. Emre, did recruit quite a few players in. He brought Tini, was it last summer, for 25 million from Celtic. He also brought Dani Ceballos on loan from Real Madrid. Well, got him on loan, yeah. I think Real Madrid have said they want around 44 million to let Dani Ceballos go on a permanent transfer. I don't see Arsenal getting him on a permanent transfer, to be quite honest with you. Also, they got David Luiz from Chelsea. For around £8 million. William Saliba, I think he's also expected to join Arsenal in June. I think if the football season does resume in June, I think he will be joining Arsenal then, because Arsenal did sign William Saliba from St Etienne. Also, too, they got Nicolas Pepe from Lille for £70 million last summer. And I think he's actually, Arsenal's most expensive signing is Nicolas Pepe. So they did recruit a good 4 or 5 players in under the Unai Emery era. Obviously, Arsenal have still got a couple of players, from the Arsene Wenger era. Obviously, I think Wenger, recommend Aubameyang in. He also recommended Lacazette in that, So there you go. Mikel Arteta, has made a couple of signings. He's made a couple of signings, since he got recommended in. But he has not yet made a permanent signing. So if they can sign Thomas Partey in the summer, it will be Mikel Arteta's first permanent signing as Arsenal manager. Now, in January, Mikel Arteta, did get Pablo Mari from Flamengo. Pablo Mari endured, I think, around 3 years at Manchester City, didn't he, before. But I don't think he ever played for Manchester City. But yeah, Arsenal got Pablo Mari on loan. They do have the option to make the deal permanent. Whether they make the deal permanent or not, I do not know. But Pablo Mari is predominantly a centre-half. And they also got Cedric Soares on loan from Southampton back in the January transfer window. And I think he's predominantly a right-back, isn't he, Cedric Soares? If I'm right, can he also play as a centre-back? So there you go. So they're the signings, that Mikel Arteta has made so far. Mkhitaryan as well. Arsenal, don't forget, let him go out on loan to Roma. I don't know. I haven't really read into that, to be quite honest. I don't know if Arsenal are going to get Mkhitaryan back. I think has there been talks between Roma and Arsenal, because I think maybe Roma are keen on getting Mkhitaryan on a permanent transfer and that. But there you go. But Arsenal, do want to make signings, because obviously, they want to get back to dominating football again, and they've been so inconsistent for several years, just like my club, Manchester United. But Arsenal, do want to get back to dominating football. Like I said, they dominated in the early days under the Arsene Wenger era. I think, they had 12 or 13 good years under Wenger. But I think Arsenal basically got rid of Arsene Wenger too late. They should have got rid of him at an earlier point, because he did leave a lot of deadwood behind, let's be honest. Arsenal, are the most successful team in FA Cup history. They have won 13 FA Cups of Arsenal, so let's just put that into the equation. But yeah, so there's been a lot of positivity coming out regarding Thomas Partey from an Arsenal perspective, but I don't see him coming to my club, Manchester United, even though it did say recently we were the favourites to sign the player. But I think he'd complement Arsenal's midfield really, really well, would Partey. I really, really do believe that. And plus, he's a cheap solution, £43 million, isn't a lot, really, so... Isn't a lot, really, so let's just put that into the equation now. Now I'm going to delve into some of Liverpool's transfer news. So let's get on with that now. So let me just give you some latest news on Timo Werner from RP Leipzig. So I was reading recent reports yesterday, read it in the Daily Mail, read it in quite a few other media outlets as well. Reportedly, Liverpool have told Timo Werner's representatives that they do need more time to launch a bidding to RP Leipzig in that, because recent reports did actually indicate out that Liverpool suggested that, they won't be making any signings in the summer transfer market and that. But reportedly, Liverpool have been in advanced talks with the player over the transfer to Liverpool. It said from the Daily Express the other day that Liverpool have offered him a 5-year contract worth around £9 million a year. Timo Werner's already revealed that he wants to join Liverpool. Don't forget, recently he turned down a move to Bayern Munich. My club, Manchester United, have also been in for Timo Werner from RP Leipzig in that. But I think there's a great chance, that Liverpool could sign him in the summer transfer market. Could sign him in the summer transfer market. Of course, Timo Werner is now into his 4th season with RP Leipzig. He has 88 goals in 150 games in all competitions, and I think around 72 goals in the Bundesliga. Don't forget, Timo Werner became the youngest player to, make 200 Bundesliga appearances. I think he's got around a 52 million release clause in his contract with Leipzig, so that's how much it will cost Liverpool to get him, around 52 million. And he has got a contract with Leipzig until 2023. Leipzig paid around 10 million euros, was it, for him from Stuttgart. He was also very, very good at Stuttgart. He was a revelation there. Don't forget, became the youngest player ever to represent Stuttgart. And, later then became their youngest ever goal scorer, did Timo Werner. So Liverpool have stepped their interest up in the player. But obviously, with Liverpool saying, they need more time, that could give my club, Man United, a boost in our pursuit of the player. Could also give Chelsea a boost, because Chelsea have also been in for Werner as well. Werner's, 23 or 24 years of age? He can play him centrally, but he can also operate on each flank. So his versatility is very, very good, is Timo Werner's. But I think, like I've said before, for Liverpool to sign Timo Werner, they've got to sell one of their attacking trio in Salah, Firmino or Mane. And I think there's a chance, that Mane could be sold, because Real Madrid have expressed their interest in him. And I think Werner, would go well alongside the likes of Salah and Firmino in Liverpool's attacking line. I really, really do. But yeah, and obviously, revert back to February, obviously early on this year. This was stemming from Sky in Germany, and they even said, Sky in Germany, that, Timo Werner, said that Jurgen Klopp is, one of the best managers in the world. But I think he'd only leave RP Leipzig if he can get a move to Liverpool. If his move to Liverpool doesn't materialise, then I think he will remain loyal to RP Leipzig for at least another season and that. So that is the breaking news on Timo Werner. But I think Liverpool first expressed their interest, was it like 3 or 4 years ago, something like that now? But they have been relentless links with the player. Liverpool, I've already done business with RP Leipzig before. Don't forget, they got Naby Keita from them. So if Liverpool get Werner, Werner will be reuniting with Naby Keita. So there you go on that. Also, I want to give you some news on Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. I don't think there's a lot of trustworthy in it, to be quite honest with you. I think on this narrative regarding Koulibaly, I just think the media are justifying their existence on this, because I'm very, very sceptical that Liverpool will sign Kalidou Koulibaly. But anyway, according to Gazette dello Sport, which I think is an Italian publication, they've allegedly, said that Liverpool are the favourites to sign Kalidou Koulibaly in the summer. It also mentions, that Everton have expressed their interest. Obviously, my club, Manchester United, have been relentless linked with Kalidou Koulibaly. Don't forget, last summer, we had quite a few bids turned down for Kalidou Koulibaly, but last summer, Napoli were reluctant to offload the player. Now, it does also mention in some media outlets that Liverpool have been in talks, with Napoli over a possible transfer for Kalidou Koulibaly. It also mentioned as well that Liverpool are willing to offer Dejan Lovren in a swap deal for Kalidou Koulibaly. But again, I'm very, very sceptical that, Napoli will accept this offer. Now, reportedly, if Liverpool were to sign Kalidou Koulibaly, it would cost them around £90 million. So that would mean Liverpool would have to make him their most expensive signing. Plus, they'd have to make him the most expensive centre-half in the world, because the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment is Harry Maguire. And, of course, we paid £80 million for him. But, Liverpool, would be very, very excited about the prospect of, Kalidou Koulibaly going alongside Virgil van Dijk in their back line. Because that would be Liverpool's first choice centre-halves if, they did sign Kalidou Koulibaly. And obviously Joe Gomez would be then he'd be put as a backup centre-half. Obviously, Joe Matip is already, one of their backup centre-halves. But there was also talk saying if Liverpool signed Koulibaly, Matip, would be currently sold. But I'm very, very sceptical this will happen, even though Kalidou Koulibaly back in March did tell the Napoli president that he does want to leave Napoli. Kalidou Koulibaly is now into his 6th season with Napoli, so he has been a long-serving player for Napoli. I think he's made around 233 appearances in all competitions. If Napoli, did sell him even for 70 or 80 million pounds or 90 or whatever, they would make a huge profit on the player, because he only paid around, was it 6 or 7 million pounds in from Genk. Before he was at Genk, he was at Metz. He actually began his career at Metz. I think Kalidou Koulibaly still got a contract with Napoli until 2023. He does have similarities to Virgil van Dijk, but I just don't think he's on Virgil van Dijk's level. But I still think Kalidou Koulibaly is in the top 4 or the top 5, as one of the best centre-halves in the world. But it's Virgil van Dijk that is the best centre-half in the world. Liverpool paid £75 million for him, and he's the second most expensive centre-half in the world. Virgil van Dijk, don't forget, I think was it in his first full season with Liverpool, he won Premier League Player of the Season, the PFA Player of the Year, reflects on his good run of performances. There was also a period as well where no player managed to dribble past Virgil van Dijk. So there you go. But I thought he was very, very good at Southampton, Van Dijk. I also rated him a lot during his time at Celtic. But I think Virgil van Dijk is the foreseeable future for Liverpool. I really, really do. I'll reiterate some of the stuff I mentioned, was it last week? Obviously, I give you the news, didn't I, on Kylian Mbappe. Again, same perception of what I've got of the saga regarding Koulibaly. I don't think, Liverpool will sign Kylian Mbappe. Again, just think it's the media justifying their existence on this topic regarding Mbappe. Obviously, it did say that the other week that Jurgen Klopp had phoned Kylian Mbappe's father, to inquire about Kylian Mbappe possibly making a move to Liverpool. And it did say that Liverpool have got a master plan to sign Mbappe in the summer of 2021 so they can get him cheaper. Obviously, if Liverpool were to sign him in the summer, Liverpool would have to pay a world record fee of £250 million for Mbappe. He's the second most expensive player in the world at the moment, because PSG did pay around, well, they got him on loan and then they got him permanently, but they did pay around £166 million in transfer fees for him. Kylian Mbappe is now into his 2nd season with PSG, and I think he scored, 90 goals? Is it 90 goals? Is it in 120 appearances in all competitions? And he's only at the age of 21. Is Mbappe has got a contract with PSG until 2022. But I said, Liverpool, will not get Kylian Mbappe. But there has been quite a few players on Liverpool's agenda. I give you the news, didn't I, regarding Victor Osimhen recently, because it says Liverpool have also expressed an interest in him. But there you go. But Liverpool, want to make signings because they want to continue this dominance up, because Liverpool have enjoyed an exceptional season. Like I said, Liverpool did go on a 44-match unbeaten run. Obviously, Watford were the team that ended their 44-match unbeaten run, but Liverpool have only lost one game in the Premier League this season. That was to Watford. Their last defeat in the league before Watford was to Manchester City last season. I think, they did lose by 2-1 and that. And I think, Anfield is actually, still a fortress, because I think Liverpool do still remain unbeaten in 50-odd league games at Anfield and that. Obviously, Liverpool only need 2 wins now to clinch their first ever Premier League title, and of course to end their 30-year drought, because Liverpool have not won the league for 30 years. So they do only need 2 wins, and there's actually 9 games remaining, I think, in the league, and Liverpool are sitting 25 points clear of Manchester City. But, you know, I don't know if the season's going to resume. I think probably, you know, the season should resume, to be quite honest with you, because there has been talk saying if the season doesn't resume, then, you know, Liverpool could be denied the Premier League title and that. But, you know, Liverpool win it this season. You know, it will be their 19th overall because they have won 18 all first divisions, and it will be their fourth major honour under the Jurgen Klopp era, because obviously, you know, Jurgen Klopp's won 3 trophies with Liverpool so far. He won the FIFA Club World Cup earlier on this season. He won the Super Cup earlier on this season, and he won the Champions League at the end of last season. You know, Liverpool have won 6 Champions Leagues, so they have won the most Champions Leagues out of the English clubs. They got to this final a couple of seasons ago, but lost to Real Madrid by 3-1, did Liverpool. But there you go. Obviously, you know, Liverpool is the third club that Jurgen Klopp is managing in his managerial career, because before he was at Liverpool, he was at Borussia Dortmund. I think he did really, really well at Borussia Dortmund, to be fair, did Jurgen Klopp, won quite a few titles with them. Before he was at Dortmund, he was at Mainz 05. Wasn't so good, though, at Mainz 05. I think he actually, you know, ended up getting Mainz 05 relegated, so he got sacked, did Jurgen Klopp, from Mainz 05. So he hasn't got a fantastic pedigree behind him, let's be honest. Don't forget, Jurgen Klopp extended his contract with Liverpool earlier on in the season. Obviously, he's under contract with them till 2024. Probably Jurgen Klopp will see out his contract with Liverpool, and when he does eventually leave Liverpool, I think he will make a return back to Germany, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But definitely, Jurgen Klopp is the foreseeable future for them. Like I said, you know, Liverpool are going to probably sell players in the summer transfer market. I think they could get rid of maybe around 4 or 5 players. I think they'll probably get rid of Nathaniel Klein. You know, he's not a bad player, Nathaniel Klein. You know, he's just like Liverpool fans have got reservations about him. He's obviously very, very injury prone, and he's basically a backup to. He's a backup to Trent Alexander-Arnold, you know, Nathaniel Klein, you know, and he doesn't really get in Liverpool's team anyway. Liverpool could maybe get around £15 million for him if they sold him in the summer. Lovren, I think he'll go because he's received a lot of criticism from a lot of Liverpool fans. I think he's always been inconsistent as Dejan Lovren, doesn't even get in their team anyway. Adrian, he could be possibly moved on. He's Liverpool's second choice goalkeeper, is Adrian. Second choice goalkeeper is Adrian, but he's received a lot of criticism, you know, reflects on, you know, the calamitous mistakes he has made, and it's obviously, you know, cost Liverpool points in games. It really, really has, you know, on his mistakes, so I think they could get rid of him. I think Adam Lallana, he's expected to leave on a free transfer at the end of the season. Adam Lallana's expected to leave on a free transfer at the end of the season. I don't think he's a bad player. Again, you know, just doesn't get in Liverpool's team enough. Dick Origi, by the way, you know, says, you know, he says he's foreseeable futures at Liverpool, did Origi, even though Liverpool are linked with Werner, you know, Origi, you know, still believes his long-term future is with Liverpool. So even if Liverpool sign Werner, you know, they could still obviously, you know, maybe keep Origi. But there has been rumours saying, you know, Origi could be sold. I think Liverpool, you know, could possibly move Shaqiri on. Because, like I said, Shaqiri isn't a 90-minute player. You know, most of his appearances come from the substitutes bench. I think they'll also negotiate on getting rid of Harry Wilson on a permanent transfer. He's on loan at Bournemouth at the moment, is Harry Wilson. Again, he'd be a good backup for Liverpool, but again, wouldn't get, you know, in their team enough and that. So there you go. But Liverpool, you know, have got a very, very good squad. Very, very good squad of Liverpool, you know, let's be honest. Very, very good squad. You know, like I said, there's a lot of players at Liverpool that have got foreseeable futures for them, to be quite honest with you. And like I said, you know, Liverpool have been very, very sensible with their recruitment, and they don't overpay for players. You know, I think since Jurgen Klopp got recommended in, Liverpool have spent around £460 million on players. I think they've recruited over 20 odd, or is it around 30 players, you know, since Jurgen Klopp got recommended in. Don't forget, you know, they have lost quite a few of their imperative players. You know, they lost Coutinho just over 2 years ago now, back in January 2018. They lost Suarez, they lost Sturridge and that. And at that point, you know, everyone thought, you know, Liverpool would have crumbled. But Liverpool did benefit from, you know, the departure of Coutinho, because they got £142 million for him. And they went and signed Virgil van Dijk and Allington. So what they got for Coutinho, you know, they put it on Virgil van Dijk and Allington and that. And like I said to you before, Jurgen Klopp is the best manager that Liverpool have had in this generation and that. But realistically, you know, Liverpool don't really need signings, you know, of how good they've been this season and that. But they just basically, you know, need to make signings, you know, because obviously if they get injuries, then, Liverpool are going to be in trouble. So they just basically, need backups. Liverpool weren't looking up to win it last season because, they did finish on 97 points and that. But yeah, and like I said, Jordan Henson's had a good season. I think Chamberlain's been very, very good for them, even though he has sustained quite a few injuries. I think Fabinho's done very, very well for them in their midfield. I think Andrew Robertson's been so good for them as well, being very, very good. Salah, he's a world-class player, Salah, but I just don't think he's been clinical this season. I think like Mane and Firmino have been in much better form than him, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So there you go. So that's everything to update you today, guys. There'll be more videos coming up. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.